So now let's talk about BCG Adenitis. It's commonly encountered in our daily practice, and in today's session we'll quickly go through a case summary. Then we'll try to understand the difference between isolated BCG Adenitis versus BCGosis. What should be the management algorithm, and something about the BCG vaccine as well. Okay, so 4 months old male infant, first by birth order, came with complaints of left axillary swelling noticed since last 1 month. A very common scenario, isn't it? Now this was gradually progressive, painless, soft swelling. Now 10 days back only they had already done a lymph node excision biopsy. Okay, we'll be discussing whether it should have been done or not done. Okay, there was no recurrence of swelling post biopsy. It's a good thing. And this child had received BCG at birth on left arm. Okay, there was no history of any systemic symptoms, no history of fever, abdominal distension, cough, irritability, no history of TB contact, and no history of any recurrent infections till 4 months of age. Birth history was unremarkable, full term, no NICU stay, immunized till date, milestones were appropriate, and this baby was on breastfeeds. Now on examination, this baby only locally just we could see a left axillary biopsy scar, which was non-tender, non-erythematous, no discharge was seen, there was no sinus formation, and the BCG scar was seen on the left arm, so it was on the same side. Okay, the BCG scar. And rest systemic examination, which I have highlighted, was within normal limits. Okay, now this child was actually vitally also very stable. Only some pallor was present. Anthropometry wise, the weight was 6.9 kg, length was 58 centimeter, which was good enough for a 4-month-old. Now they had already come with investigations. ESR was not done. Hemoglobin was around 10.4. WBC was 9,610, which was lymphopredominant. Now before that biopsy was done and ultrasound USG, ultrasound which of the left axilla was already done, which showed heterogeneous collection of and showed this collection was communicating with the necrotic node. Okay, and there were multiple heterogeneously hypoechoic left axillary nodes seen, and they had labeled it as left axillary necrotic lymphadenopathy. Okay, a biopsy was done which also showed necrotizing granulomatous inflammation suggestive of tuberculosis. Now ZN stain, there was no AFB seen. Bacterial culture was no growth. Now the lymph node tissue CB-NAT showed MTB complex detected, Reepa resistance not detected, and at this point the TB MJIT was awaited. Okay, now this is the clinical picture. So basically we are dealing with isolated BCG Adenitis, right, without any systemic involvement. Okay, hence this is isolated BCG Adenitis. This picture was shown to us by the parents. So it was basically, it was not showing any suppuration. It was non erythematous at that point of time. Okay, now the most common question which is always asked is whether these children require AKT or not, and how should one approach. Now this child came to us post biopsy with that report of MTB complex in the gene expert and the histopath report. But because it was isolated BCG Adenitis, child was just followed up for weight gain and any recurrence of swelling, and iron and vitamin D supplements were given. TB MJIT at 3 and 6 weeks showed no growth whatsoever, and then this child was just followed up. No anti-tubercular drugs were offered to this child. It was not indicated. So what should be the approach to BCG Adenitis? Okay, isolated BCG Adenitis in an immunocompetent child. It's very important to palpate. Okay, it's very important to palpate the gland and see whether this gland is fluctuant. Okay, is there any pus? If there is pus, Okay, now you should go to the right side of the flow chart. If there is any pus, then you have to drain the pus. So it is just aspiration without any incision. Okay, so you will just aspirate. If it refills, you can repeat it twice. Okay, if it still refills, then you need to excise it. Okay, but there is no need of anti-TB drugs. Okay, only after excision, if it recurs, then of course you will need to take an expert opinion, and in some conditions, sometimes if the child may require HRE for 3 to 6 months. Mind you, Z is not given here because we know Mycobacteria bovis pyrazinamide will not work for it. Okay, now suppose this isolated BCG adenitis is non-fluctuant, or it is a non-suppurative, it is a non-suppurative swelling, then you just wait and watch. Okay, if it regresses and then it recurs, okay, suppose it goes off completely and then it recurs, then that time and again you will have to take an expert opinion, and that is the only time that HRE may be indicated. Okay, that is also okay after an expert opinion. Okay, so in isolated BCG adenitis, if it is non-suppurative, just wait and watch. If it is suppurative, there is pus, you drain the pus without any incision. This can be repeated twice. If still it refills, then you just excise it, okay, in toto. Okay, but no need of anti-TB drugs. Okay. Now, important to note is that in an immunocompetent child, suppuration may develop in 30 to 80% cases. Non-suppurative BCG lymphadenitis regresses spontaneously over few weeks to months. Okay, so it may take time. Okay, so parents need to be counseled accordingly. Okay, and you don't have to treat it unnecessarily just because parents want some treatment to be offered. Okay. And why not Pizena in AKT? As already mentioned, because Pizena does not work against Mycobacteria bovis. Most importantly, we have to be very sure that this is not BCGosis. Okay, so key points on examination: do not forget to check for cervical lymph nodes, supraclavicular lymph nodes. BCG scar, if present, should be on the same side. It has to be ipsilateral. Check for your organomegaly, liver, spleen, any dissemination, your CNS, lungs. Okay, and whether it is a competent child, suppressed child, whether it's a healthy, well growing child or not. So if there is any poor weight gain, which again will be pointing towards a systemic illness. Now, is there any age criteria for BCG lymphadenitis? Yes. So the age criteria for BCG lymphadenitis is you can still get BCG adenitis till almost 4 years of age. Okay. Now, what is this BCGosis? So BCGosis is nothing but it is disseminated BCG infection. There is an ESID diagnostic criteria for it, which is it could be definitive, probable or possible. So what is definitive? At least 2 areas of involvement beyond your injection site. Okay, systemic symptoms like fever, weight loss or stunted growth, microbiological identifications of Mycobacteria bovis BCG subspecies by culture or PCR, and typical histopathological changes with granulomatous inflammation. Okay, so there are 2 clinical criteria, one microbiological and one histopath. What is probable BCGosis? In probable BCGosis, you don't have any microbiological diagnosis. Okay, but you have that is no Mycobacteria subspecies identification. Okay, the subspecies identification is not there, but you have a positive PCR. Okay, there is a positive PCR, but you don't know which species it is, and you have histopath diagnosis as well. Okay, along with your clinical examination criteria being fulfilled. Possible is typical histopath but without your microbiology, but with your clinical features. Okay, so BCGosis needs to be ruled out. Why? Because if you're getting BCG adenitis and you pick up BCGosis, it needs to be treated with AKT, and we really need to find out why has this child developed BCGosis. Is this child immunodeficient? that needs to be ruled out. Most commonly it is seen with MSMD, that is Mendelian susceptibility to mycobacterial diseases, your severe combined immunodeficiency, as well as HIV. Okay, that's important. Now BCG vaccine, little bit about BCG vaccine. It's a live attenuated vaccine. It's a weakened version of Mycobacteria bovis, 1.5 to 6 million colony forming units. There is, in India we use the Danish strain. Okay, given at birth as intradermal injection on left arm. Okay, it is intradermal injection on left arm, that is important. If the child is less than 1 month of age, it is 0.05 ml. More than 1 month of age, then 0.1 ml. Important diluent is sodium chloride and not distilled water. Storage is 2 to 8 degrees. Now it's important for the young parents to know what will be how this BCG is going to have local changes at the site of injection. Okay, so there can be a local reaction. There will be a small tender red swelling which appears at site of injection, then it changes to small vesicle and then ulcer in the next 2 to 4 weeks. Then this reaction usually subsides within 2 to 5 months, and then it leaves a scar of 2 to 10 millimeters in diameter. Okay, it rarely there can be a local nodule, and occasionally there will be enlargement of ipsilateral axillary lymph node or supraclavicular or cervical lymph node. Okay, so the key points are: no role of AKT in isolated BCG adenitis except if recurrence after excision. Drainage required only for pus, and for increased gland only wait and watch policy is important, and there is no role of Pizena in BCG adenitis. Okay, thank you so much.